resellers? I'm Rebecca and you are watching Rebecca the Reseller. Thanks for joining me today for another brand new closet review on Poshmark. I'm so excited. I love doing these. I'm very happy to bring this one to you because I feel like sometimes when I do from one to the next, perhaps they get a little repetitive, but I feel like every person's Poshmark closet review and each person's Poshmark closet is different, and I really do try to get into the details and make each one an individualized experience. And I feel like with this one I have some different comments to make than some of the others I have in the past, and I feel like this particular closet review is going to provide not only value hopefully for Robin, who purchased the closet review. Thank you, Robin, so much for purchasing one, and I'll get to that in a second. And I have a lot of great tips I hope for you, and I think doing some of these or all of these will bring you great sales. But I do think for those that are watching at home, this can benefit you too. I hope so, at least. And if you are interested in purchasing your own closet review, all you have to do is go to my Etsy shop, where I have a lot of different Poshmark and reseller resources and tools for you that I've created for my own business and that I'm making available to you. All it is etsy.com/shop/Rebecca the Reseller. It's linked down below. I've got a lot of different things here. I've been working on redesigning it, and I have some new products coming out hopefully very soon. So hopefully you'll check that out. But there's trackers, there's stickers, there's an ebook, there's just some tools and listing forms and all kinds of things, as well as the Poshmark closet review that you can purchase if you would like to get one of your own. So that's my quick commercial. Obviously, we are here to talk about Robin and her closet. Again, Robin, thank you so much for purchasing the closet review. Let me go ahead and jump right in. So basically, I went through everything, and we're just going to kind of go through the summary that I provide. This is something that I send to the person that purchases a closet review. So Robin, you'll be getting this as well as the video, of course, which you're watching. So first things first, I like to start kind of with the very basic stuff at the top, which is like your header and your name and your avatar and all of that. So for your closet name, I did want to make a note, and I thought this was interesting for me to think about as well as for you and for others. Your name here is Robin, of course, but your name on Poshmark is Robin the Reseller. And so I'm just curious if we think that buyers or customers have any issue with the term reseller. Do they know that you're a reseller? Do they know that that's a thing? Not everyone is a reseller. Some people are just buyers on Poshmark and have literally no idea that reselling is a thing. And I just wonder, does that have any negative connotation at all? I don't know the answer to that. I just wanted to bring it up so that you could think about it, because I think when we're in the Instagram community, when we're in the YouTube community of being a reseller, it's very normal and we all know what each other is doing. But if you're just a buyer that goes on Poshmark and you want to do good for the environment or just get something cheap, whatever, is that something where you're like, I want to purchase from a reseller? Or am I just thinking that I'd rather purchase from somebody's closet? Like, I don't know what's the best answer for that, but I wanted to bring it up because this is the first time I've encountered it as reseller in someone's Poshmark closet name. Of course, I'm Rebecca the Reseller, and that's my personal brand as far as reselling goes that I go by on social media, but that's directed towards resellers. It's not directed towards my customers that purchase from me. My closet name is on my rack, which is, a general customer facing name. So I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's good. I just wanted to bring it up for you to think about as you are getting going with it. You may want to consider a name change in the future. You may not. It's completely up to you, but I did want to bring it up as something new and different as a thought. Starting with the name field, I always do recommend that you can put an exclamation point or even some other things. Now, if you look at other people's names in the beginning of your name here, so instead of it being Robin the Reseller, it would be like exclamation point, la, 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 la. Go and check out some other closets that come up in the top of the followers list. See what they put, and you can copy and paste that into the name field, and that will help you come up higher in followers lists, and that will get you more followers. And you could use some more followers. You're at 7,000 now. We'll talk about that in a second. So I always bring that up as far as the name goes. For your banner, I love the banner. It's very nice and clean and clear that you can see you have the nice flower. You have Robin the Reseller. Your name is there. That's fine. You don't need to change anything about that. I do always say, because you have no information line here, that you should consider adding some buyer confidence notes in your line over here. And that would be something like the shipping time. We'll talk about your shipping time in a second, but it's good, so you may want to mention that, or that you're a professional seller, or how many items you've sold, things like that. Now, I know based on everything that I've already gone through, and we'll talk about it, that you are on the newer side, and so you may not have all of those numbers that you want to lead with. Like for me, I put in my information line, which would go right here, 6,200 items sold, ship same next day. So that already lets someone know, like, I'm a seller. I've sold 6,000 items. I ship the same next day. Like, I'm legit. I've done it a bunch of times. For you, you can't quite say that yet. You don't have the sales yet to say that, and that's okay. You'll get that over time. But what you have going for you is your shipping time. What you have going for you is that it's packaged with care if you do that. I mean, obviously don't say something that's not correct for you and what you do. But if you do those things, if you package it with care, if it's a smoke-free, pet-free home, or any of those things that you may have going for you that you can use to your advantage to help get those sales under your belt, that would be great. And then as far as your avatar, I like that it's a logo. I think it's great. It shows that you're taking it seriously and that you're a professional. So I think that is good. A link, obviously, to Instagram. I didn't click on it. I don't know what's going on over there. This is a Poshmark review, but if you're using Instagram to promote your Poshmark, that can only be a good thing. As far as your listings, you're at 53 listings. So this is on the lower end. You're kind of just at that beginning stage, and that's great. Everyone has to start somewhere. If you are looking to take this seriously and really make this reselling thing a thing for you, you definitely got to get that number up. You want to have lots of different options to bring people into the store, for people to make bundles, and every time you have an item in your store, you have something for people to buy. The more items you have, the more chances someone can buy something from you for you. So increase the number of listings to make daily sales. You should be looking to at least start listing the amount of daily sales that you want. Now, that's not a tried and true, if you list 5, you will sell 5, but it gets you going in the right direction. If you list 5, maybe you'll start selling 1 a day. If you list 10, then maybe you'll start selling 2 a day, and eventually they might even out. Eventually it might be 2 to 1, but I like to say, at least for everyone, as a way to get you into a daily listing habit, to think about how many you could handle, how many you'd want to be selling a day, and list at least that many as a place to start. And perhaps make it a goal for yourself. Like right now you're at 53. So if you wanted to 10x your business, you could make your goal to have 500 listings by a certain point. Try making a goal for yourself to reach to, and obviously you're going to be selling things, but this tracks your all-time listings. So it's going to be sold and available all together. And so having that number get to that milestone of 500 would be a really great stepping stone for you in your early Poshmark career. I have a weird, okay, I just want to make sure I'm still recording, sorry. Sometimes I freak out that I'm doing all this talking and not recording myself. Sorry about that. As far as your shares, you're at about 3,000 shares, which is great. So obviously at this point, you're not at Poshmark ambassador status. I don't necessarily think that that is a cure-all or end-all be-all of things, but I do think it's good to have and good to strive for. So you're about 2,000, I think, away from getting that Poshmark ambassador check off as far as your shares, and then you want to go ahead and make sure you get the number of sales. You need to have love notes and all this stuff. So if you are tracking that in the app, make sure you're continuing to do the things you need to do to reach Poshmark ambassador status. And then once you kind of get past that, it's up to you what you want. I do some community shares sometimes, but I definitely don't make it a priority in my life. I don't think past the point of becoming a Poshmark ambassador, you should be spending a lot of your time on community shares unless you've already fulfilled all of the other things that serve your store best first. When you've completed all of that, and we'll talk about some of those things, when you've completed all of that, then you can move on to helping others. Followers. So at this point, you're at 7,000 followers, 7,000 following. That's fine. Again, still being new. I do think the more followers, the better. I go through periods of time where I focus on followers and don't focus on followers. I think there are some benefits to it and some not. I think there are some things where people perhaps can shop off the feed. I will probably make some videos about this because most people say, oh, it's only about the search. And it is primarily about the search. and then it doesn't matter how many followers you have. But I do think that there are certain types of items that are more of impulse purchases, or at certain times of year, there may be more impulse purchases, or a lot of different things that could play into how many followers you have. If not, it's just a vanity number, but it could also give buyers confidence that you've been a posher for a while, you've gathered a number of followers and amassed a number of followers, or so many people are following you, you must have good. I mean, I think there are a lot of psychological things that can be construed from the followers number, and so it's always good to have more. I don't think that you should make it the most important thing that you need to be doing. I have other things for you to focus on, but when you're watching TV, when you have some extra time, go ahead and follow new poshers. I think that's the best bang for your buck. And if you want to know more about followers, I do have an entire video about all of the ways that I go about getting more followers. I'll have it linked down below for those watching at home, and you have it here in your summary. And you also, as a person that is purchased a closet review, get an entire sheet full of resources that I provide, and so that's going to come as your cover sheet when you receive this, and it'll be all links and all different videos that you should be looking at, and just like everything that is all the good information that I could possibly think of that would help you be successful. You're going to get that, as well as your custom summary. Last active. So when I looked yesterday when I made the summary, and then I looked again today, and it's morning time, you had been active 1 day ago, or you had been active 20 hours ago. So that's a big thing. You need to be clicking into the app. If you want to take this seriously, if you want to be a reseller, if you, and your name suggests that you're Rebecca, I'm Rebecca the reseller, you're Robin the reseller, hello. If you want to be Robin the reseller, and this is what you do, and I don't know if you're doing this part-time, if you're doing it just for fun to make extra money, if you're doing this full-time or want to be full-time, but depending on your level of what you want out of this, directly has to be even more so what you put into it. And so if you're only checking the app once a day, that's not going to cut it at all. Like, I don't mean to be rude, but you need to be in there. You need to be in there at least a handful of times a day. And there's a bunch of reasons why, and I'll talk about that, but like, it needs to show that you have been in that app as often as possible. Perhaps people will look at that, especially when you're new and you don't have a lot of love notes under your belt, or you don't have a lot of sales under your belt, or other things that may detract from someone buying from you. You need to have all of the positive things going in your direction that you can. And being active and on top of your account in your Poshmark closet is one of those things that you and you alone can control. So you need to be active in the app. Average ship time. Oh, I should have clicked on this. Average ship time here. See, last active 20 hours ago. That's what I was talking about there. However, average ship time is one of those things that you are on top of. Same day shipping. This is amazing when you're new. It's so easy to stay on top of all those packages and get them out same day when the sales come in, because you're probably not making daily sales at this point, and there's not a lot that you have to deal with. So keep that same day for as long as you possibly can. Inevitably, over time, perhaps you will go away from same day, but for the longest you can, keep it same day. Get those packages out quickly. It will serve you well in the future. And that's something that you could put in that buyer confidence lineup at the top that I mentioned, is say ship same day. Like, that's amazing. You should definitely be highlighting that to your potential buyers. Posher since. So you've been on the app, it says, since October of 2019. So I keep saying that you're new, but you're, a good portion of a year in. And so you're not completely new. So it could be that you just signed up but didn't do that much with the app at first, or now we're just starting to get more serious about it, something like that. Whatever the case, that's okay, because it shows that your history is a little bit longer. So once you do the activities and the productive things that need to happen to get your Poshmark closet up to a certain level, those will all equal out, and now you will start to carry the weight of someone that's been a posher for a while. Once you hit your year, if someone should look at that, plus you're doing all these things, getting your listings up and all the other things I'm going to recommend, then you're not going to have to worry about any of this stuff. But when you're new, each one is kind of like, if I'm a buyer, and I have been a buyer, and I come across an item in a new posher's closet, I do look at these things. I look at when are they going to ship, because I've had plenty of times where they've never shipped the item. I look at when they've last been on the app, because chances are if they don't check in on the app a few times, they may not see your order and may not ship out quite some time. Or if you have a question, they may not answer your question after a little bit. So these are just all the things that give buyers pause, and you want to give them every reason to move forward with a sale with you, not have a pause or a reservation. I did see that you had one received love note and one given love note. I can't remember all the Poshmark ambassador things, but I do think you might need to leave 2 love notes in order to have Poshmark status. And then maybe you need to have some, I know you have to have so many sales. I don't know how many love notes you need to have. I forget. But because it was all different when I got it. I got it when it was a suggested user program. So I don't know what it is right now, but I know you need to have a little bit more. So consider buying something. And when you are buying something, think about the buyer experience and put yourself in their shoes. That way that will help inform you when you're doing things in your closet as well. But as far as received, you want to do everything you can to get those love notes up. So when you do get a sale, you need to be sending a handwritten thank you or something in there that says, hey, would love the 5-star feedback. Hope you enjoy this item, whatever you want to say. It's been a long time since I've done handwritten thank you cards, but in the very beginning and when I did start my other closet, which I'm not really active in right now, but when I did start a second one, I was focused on getting love notes. It was very crucial to the beginning of that business, and writing handwritten thank you notes really does help the cause. So I think that you should, for any sale that you get at this point, for a while, you should be doing handwritten thank you cards to get those love notes up. Closet signs. I did not see any closet signs, and that's okay. Again, none of this stuff do you have, like, I'm not scolding you or being rude or anything, saying like you should have done this already. What I'm saying is all the things that I think, because this is my opportunity now, that you can help yourself get more sales, increase everything, and just do better overall as a reseller. So I'm going to throw everything at you. I didn't notice any closet signs. I definitely think you should have a closet sign. I'm just doing a quick scroll here just to make sure. So you have something for proms, which is cool. But that was it. So you need a bookmark closet, in my opinion. I think everyone should have a closet bookmark sign. You should have it in this very first top spot. It should be an introduction to your closet, whether you put a picture of you or you put this logo or you just put some information like ship same or next day. Like, that's what you need to be having in there, because that's the biggest thing you have going for you. I don't even know what is happening here. So I have a couple of resources in your summary and some links down below for those watching at home of how you can create a sign with the Over app or Typorama, and those are free. How you can post your closet sale signs in my free Facebook group to promote closet sales. That link is there. And how to and a link to my sign, so that way you could see what one looks like. But check out other people's closets and other people's signs, but I do think you should have it. It's a great way to introduce yourself, let people know what to expect from your closet. For product mix, brand, and size, so your brands do skew on the lower end side. Some house brands, some lesser known brands, some boutique type brands. There were a handful of ones that I recognized, and even 1 or 2 high-end brands. But overall, I felt like the closet was on the lower side. I don't know if you were cleaning out your closet. If that's the case, we all have, like, I have tons of Walmart stuff. I have tons of, Kohl's stuff in my own closet, and what I sell is completely different. And that's not to say that you can't sell those lower brands. You certainly can, of course. And I do it too. But you need to have other things that people are searching for, that are in demand, that are popular, that people recognize, that people want in your closet in order to make sales. You can do everything else that I expressed to you here correctly, but if you don't have things that people want to buy, you won't make sales. There's no fadoodling around it. So I'm not saying that people don't want what you have. Obviously, you're newer, and so you need to get the word out. You need to get your items out, and there's a couple things that I'll talk about with you specifically about how you could even do better with what you currently have. But one of my biggest thus far recommendations is to be sourcing for the brands that people want, people are searching for, are popular, that people recognize, that are in demand. So to find out about that, you can search around on Poshmark. You can see what the showrooms are, what the parties are. You can watch haul videos, what sold videos. Obviously, I have those on my channel. There's lots of other YouTubers that have those too. I do have a link to some of them here. So I think you need to build your brand knowledge a little bit. Like Forever 21 is a recognizable brand, but it's not going to bring, I don't think that it's highly sought after. I don't think it's going to bring you a lot of sales. Studio One, I don't know what that is. Connected Apparel I've heard of, but you know, I don't know. You did have Miss Me in here, which you sold, which was great. You had Gucci in here, which you sold, which was great. You have Calvin Klein, but it's not even showing up as Calvin Klein. So there's just a few things where, you know, you have some St. John's Bay, some, you know, New York and Company or whatever 7th Avenue goes with. So there's just, it's not great as far as the brands go, if I'm being completely honest. And so you just want to kind of level up. Even if they're not expensive, they don't need to be expensive, but they need to be popular, current, trendy, recognizable brands. And of course, styles that go with it. So that's kind of my major note on like your product mix. You do have a wide array of sizes, which I thought was great, and I do think serves a new closet well for sure. You have, let's see, and you didn't have any prohibited items, which was good. So I think product mix needs to improve. Again, when you're new and I don't know all the circumstances, I can't hold that against you, of course, but I'm just giving you my best advice. And that would be to really kind of level up, focus in on the mall brands for right now, and then you can worry about high-end home runs later, but focus in on popular, recognizable, current, trendy stuff. Photo presentation. This is another kind of chunk that I have for you because this can make a huge difference in what you already have and what you're going to be bringing into your closet. So you have a variety of different ways that you have shown items, and that's okay because we all experiment with different things. Obviously, it's great that you have a mannequin and that's showing that you're taking things seriously. I think when you do the mannequin shots, they need to be not outside. I think they need to be next to a clear wall. I think one of the where's the best one? Like something like this, but farther away, is probably the best. It's behind or in front of a blank wall with the mannequin with the item looking nicely. That's your best bet. Wherever that was, that's where you need to do all your photos. You also need to or should put up a command hook onto the wall if you can, on that very same wall, which is nice and clean and clear, so that you can do the hanging shots like this one, but so it's not looking like this. It's looking like the plain white wall in the background. That will make everything better. If you do nothing else, get your mannequin and a command strip in front of a blank wall, and that's where you take your photos. It'll make things a lot easier too because everything will be consistent. It's not going to take away from their eye when they're looking all around. Some things have the rug, some things have these black lines, which meant that you squared off a long photo. You need to be taking it in square mode to make that work out easier. So I think, you know, if you have to do a flat lay, do not do it on the floor. Big pet peeve of mine, big no-no. I feel like in the reselling community, as far as noting a professional seller from somebody that just put their stuff on Poshmark. And if that's what you did, that's okay. I'm not judging you for it. I'm telling you, if you want more sales, if you want to be a reseller that makes more money, if you want to step up your game and do this as a thing, these are some of the things that are going to help get you there. So please don't take any of this personally. We all have to start somewhere, and I did it too. But the very first thing that I bought in becoming a reseller was $2 to $3. I forget how many I bought. I think I bought 3 pieces of poster board from the dollar store. And I think sometimes, at least at mine, they're 2 for $1. So it's a very minimal investment to buy a couple of pieces of poster board. When you're doing your flat lays, you can put that on the floor next to any open window and do what you got to do. You have the mannequin, so I think as many things as you possibly can should go on the mannequin. And you have a small enough store, only 50 listings total, including sold. Everything that you can should go on that mannequin in front of this wall. Anything that needs to be hung can go on this hanger right here, hook up a command strip and put it on this wall right here. Don't even do flat lays if you don't have to. I mean, that's not preferred in my opinion. You know, and you can go back and redo all of these. I mean, it would take you a couple of days, but if you want to get these items sold, I think the best bet is to get these items on that mannequin in front of that blank wall and retake at least your cover photo. At least your cover photo needs to be redone. And that will make your store, while it's small, very consistent, very clean, very clear, and it will do so much for you. Plus, it's going to help you with search results, having that white background. Like, it's just going to help in so many ways. So like, I really wanted to spend a lot of time on that because that is very important in my opinion. I like to see a little white space around, where's that yellow dress? I like to see a little white space around, so like how you have it here on this side and on this side, like that's good. If you had, let's click on this. If you had taken this as a full shot, see, so you had it on the mannequin and then you did this too. So maybe this was your original photo and then you went back when you got the mannequin and put it on the mannequin. I'm not exactly sure what happened there, but whatever it is, you could stand farther back, get that whole shot in square mode. And if you can't get the whole shot in square mode, take a regular photo, crop it down in the Over app, which it's very easy to do. Just smush the sides in and put that on the square, and then you'd have a white background around it with the image on the inside, but the image is long. You can always do that. That's what I do when I have something very long. So yes, I think having some white space around it just helps the person really understand. Like me looking at this right now, I don't know how long it is. I don't know what's going on with it. You need the whole thing in the shot, and you need the space around it to give them perspective of what's going on there. The mannequin, blank wall. Also, search for one of your items as if you were a buyer. So like this is whatever, this is a New York & Company yellow dress. So you can search, go to listings, search New York & Company yellow maxi dress. See what comes up. Is yours anywhere near the top? We'll go over why that is. If it is, what else do the other ones look like? It doesn't have to be the same style or anything, but what do the other pictures look like in comparison to yours? That's a great way for you to figure out what's going on here, because when the buyer's searching, they're not searching your specific thing perhaps. They're going to search yellow maxi dress, or they're going to search maxi dress, or they're going to search halter maxi dress from New York & Company, or whatever they're searching for. But yours is going to come up amidst other listings, and you want to see what yours looks like amidst those other competitors and see how it stacks up, really. So try that as an example. And then also, spend some time reviewing successful closets. You're always more than welcome to look at mine. I think I'm a relatively successful closet, but I don't think I'm, the end all be all. There's lots of other poshers that are way bigger than I am that make way more sales than I do, and see what they're doing and see how they present their items. The other thing I'll note in here while I can is I think you can add some more photos what's going on here, to give your buyers more information. When you do tags, all your items should have the tags photos. This is sideways. That's not a good buyer experience, that they have to go like this and kind of really try to figure out what size that says. Because here you say it's a small, and that is a small, but it also kind of looks like an 8. And so I may not trust that. People make mistakes, and so I think this needs to be facing the right way and rotated. You don't have the material tag there, so you need to take more photos to really give them an idea of what's going on. One of the things I'll continue to quote is Chris from Daily Refinement, one of my favorite channels to watch, and he always says, take photos like there's no description and make a description like there's no photos. So I think that there's just a little bit more you can do to tell the story of this item with your photos by taking more photos. Poshmark gives you 16 photo slots now, so there's no excuse not to take photos of all the tags and all the angles and all the things and all the details. I think that is critical. And as far as, because I think in general, because I can tell that you don't have a light setup, and that's okay. You don't need to invest in a light setup right now, but if you want to in the future, you can. And there's a link to the one that I have and the one that I recommend in my Amazon store, which is down below. But you want to have relatively bright light, and so I can tell that you're using daylight as much as you can. Obviously, you wouldn't have to worry about that if you were using a light kit, but if you are going to use this wall and this in front of it, you may only have certain times then that you get the right light, so just think about that. But you still could do a little photo editing. All you have to do is get the Pick Tap Go app and bring in the photo, hit lights on or bright side, and spit it back out of the app and upload that to Poshmark. It literally takes 2 seconds, and you can do it in batches. It's very easy. That app does cost, I think, a few dollars. I'm not a rep for them or anything, but I just think it's fantastic, and that will also help out your photos so well. So in terms of just like helping the presentation, but then also making them a little bit brighter, I think will just completely transform your store, like completely transform it, and you would see sales on some of these things just from that, I guarantee. Lighting, yes, okay. Number of photos we talked about, and I list in here specifically like you should cover the front, the back, the top half, the bottom half, any details, all the tags, any closures, things like that. For pricing, I thought your prices were pretty good. I mean, obviously you should still be getting a feel if you're a newer posture about checking comps and understanding what are other people selling that same item for or a similar item, and then what are the solds for a similar item or that exact item. And then look at your own solds, and I think that should be guiding you. But overall I thought your pricing was okay, and it wasn't too like dramatic one way or the other. You definitely want to leave room for offers, of course, but I thought your pricing was pretty good compared to others that I've seen. It's very good. Your titles, let's talk about that a little bit. So, Studio One gorgeous dress, connected apparel, beautiful. We've got a little bit of work to do here, Robin. We don't need any exclamation points in the title. It's just unnecessary. It takes up a space. You don't need to put that. It's not getting the item sold in any way. You don't need to use any descriptors like gorgeous or beautiful or anything like that. If you did want to paint a picture per se with your words, save that for the description. That doesn't need to be in the title. You only get so much room in the title, and you want it to be the most important facts about the item so that it gets picked up in search and gives the buyer exactly what they need to know to make a decision whether or not to click on your listing and find out more. So those things should be brand, what the item is, any details, any fabric notes, color, size. Keep it basic, keep it factual. You don't have to put your opinions in there, and you don't have to put any special punctuation to do anything. You also don't need to put, the only thing I do about condition is I put new or newer tags up at front. I don't put like new or anything like that. This one is for date night. Like, you just don't need any of that stuff in the title, in my opinion. So I did put in here, you know, just kind of like a format that you can follow for that. Sorry, I need. I'm sorry, my throat was like getting super dry. Because I'm yip-yapping over here, but I'm excited because I feel like if you start doing some of these things, it's going to totally help. So I'm very excited for you. I do think that you should spend a little bit of time creating a format for yourself. I just did a video on creating a listing template. So I'm linking that here, and for those, I'll be linking that down below. You should check that out. So I'm not going to reiterate all the things that are in that video because I just did it and I felt like it was pretty in-depth. So I'm just going to make a couple points about your description, but I highly recommend, Robin, that you check out that video from start to finish because all those tips would apply for you, all of them. Let's just click on this here. Let's see. This is a Calvin Klein. Calvin Klein, and Klein here is spelled incorrectly. Actually, it's spelled incorrectly altogether, right? Yep, because it's E-I. Yes. Sometimes, you know, you look at a word and then you're like, that's not right. Yes, this is not right. So we've spelled it wrong, which happens. Like, it's totally fine that you made a mistake. I make mistakes all the time. The point is that you catch them and you fix them. So you got to catch this one. Calvin Klein multicolored blouse. And like, that's fine. I would also put an L for size. I would make sure that this is spelled correctly. And I would maybe, like, what is this? It's like red, black, or pink, black, or that it's striped. You know, you could add a little bit more to this here. The brand isn't going to pull up at all because it just says Cal. It doesn't have the whole thing here. So you definitely got to fix that. And then there's no measurements. Sleeves can be worn long or short. So perhaps this is this a tab sleeve or a roll? I can't see, and so that might be a picture that you should take because you're telling me that they could be worn long or short, but I don't know what you mean by that because you're not showing me a picture of what the apparatus is that would happen with. I mean, it looks like just a normal long sleeve top. It doesn't look to me like it's one of those roll tabs. So that's something, you know, that are fastened with a button. So we need to see what's going on there. Size large, 100% polyester. Here's the thing. I don't write the fabric content unless it's something desirable like a cashmere or silk or whatever, or linen. or organic cotton or something like that, I don't write that out. I don't waste my time writing that out because I take a picture of it in the tags, which you have it here. And you have the material, and you have the fabric here, and you have, so these are good tag picks. This one's a little hard to see, but those were good tag picks. So you don't have to waste your time reiterating that in the description, I don't think. Also, you have the size covered here. So if you want to save time, you don't even need to write out size large. This, I would clarify what that means. I would include measurements. I would include something about the condition of it. Is it in excellent condition with no flaws? That type of thing. And I would put some more keywords. I would put that there's stripe, that it's multicolored, that it's kind of a watercolor, that there are perhaps pockets here. I can't really tell, chest pockets, that it's a split neck. Those are all important things that you should be including here. So I think it takes time to develop the keyword knowledge. It takes time to develop what people want to know about something. Sometimes I still look at an item and I'm like, I don't know what to say. Like I have nothing to say about this. Like, I've literally described it. I have nothing else to say. It's a top. You know, some days I'm in that kind of mood and I just have nothing left to say. And so I totally get that. But I think as a newer reseller, you want to start picking up on the things that you need to be including, and widening your keyword knowledge is one of them. I have a video coming out. I don't know if this is going to go up before or after, all about keywords that sell. And I will be releasing in my Etsy store a keyword guide. So I don't know when the timing of that is going to happen. That may be, you know, before this, it may be after this, but for those at home, or for you, Robin, I would consider checking that out, because you can really bolster your keyword knowledge by going off of a guide or a list, and you can really help the item come up in search, help it get found, help, you know, kind of sell the item once people are looking at your description. So a lot you can do here. And again, go and watch that listing template video, because all of those things would apply to you. I'm not going to go through them all individually here. I think it would take a lot of time. I do include in your summary just like kind of like a check off thing of things that you can include, like length, neckline, etc., sleeve length, all of that stuff. Yes. And the template, condition, I just said. Sorry, I'm just, and measurements. You got to put the measurements. I'm of the camp that you need the measurements in there. If you don't, like whatever, that's your decision. But then do know that you need to answer questions about measurements as they come in. And that is a potential reason why people may not be able to buy your item, because they can't check the measurements. They may not want to ask you for it. So it's just something where it may not, it's definitely not going to hurt your sales. I think it can only help your sales by putting the measurements in. Solds, let your solds guide you. I say this in every video, and I don't want to go and open up your solds in front of everyone. I think that that's, you know, I mean, obviously they could see it, but I just think you personally should go through your own solds and see what's selling and let that inform you. Is it a better listing? Is it a better photo? Was it a better brand? Was it a better style? Did you give measurements on those items or not? Were they shoes? Were they, you know, like just look at your solds and let that inform you a little bit. Last, shared. Alert, 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 Robin, we have to talk. We have to talk. So this says right here, updated June 8th. Let's let that sink in just for a little bit. June 8th. It's June 21st, Robin. What are you doing? Oh my gosh. So let's go back, because that is even earlier, because I just clicked on the top listing the last time, and this was updated 1 day ago, and I was going to talk to you about that and say, Robin, we need to have a talk. If you haven't shared your items in a day, that's never going to get you sales. You need to be sharing them multiple times a day, especially when you only have 50 items. You could be sharing once an hour if you wanted to. I mean, you could jam that out, no problem. Like, I want to share your closet once an hour because there's so few listings. You could totally do that so quickly. Like, I have 800 listings now. It's very difficult to do it that many times. I don't do it that many times. I'm lucky if I can get 3 in, because I don't have my VA right now. So, you know, everyone's closet is different. Everyone's availability is different. I like share bursts where like I'll just go in and like share these 4 once, and then the next hour I'll go in and share these 4, because with my little guy at home and everything that I've got going on, like that's all I can manage. But I do make sure to share my entire closet at least 3 times a day, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. Gotta do it. It's just part of the game. No one's gonna find your stuff if it's not coming up anywhere near the top of the search. And for those that don't know, someone searches Forever 21 top, yours is going to only show up as high in the search as it was last shared, unless they change the setting of their search. So the default search is last shared. And so if it's been, I'm scared to even know when this was, a day ago, okay, you're going to be all the way down at the bottom with all the people that have shared their items since. And then forget about the Calvin Klein blouse that was shared on June 8th, because it's not even showing up as Calvin Klein. Calvin Klein isn't spelled right, and you haven't shared it since June 8th. This will never be found. It will never be found. No one will find this unless they spend long time searching for it. It's not going to be found. So like, you need to, at the very minimum, share your items. Share what you've got. That's the first place to start. I think you need to, do the revisions on the photos and the listings like we talked about. And then I think you need to develop a sharing strategy that can work for you, whether you start out with saying, I'm going to consistently share at 8 a.m. every day. Do that for a week. And then next week, I'm going to share at 8 a.m. and 12 p.m. and do that for a week. And then the next week, share at 8 a.m., 12 p.m., and 8 p.m. and do that for a week. Maybe start with the 8 p.m. because you might get more out of that. But, slowly add it, slowly increase it, slowly work on it. I'm not saying you have to do all these things overnight, and you don't have to do all of these things. But this is my opportunity to tell you everything I think, and I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give you your $25 worth. So yes, last shared. Answering questions. I did notice some unanswered questions. I go through all the listings of the people, not all the listings, but in everyone's closet review, I go through a handful of listings to specifically see if you haven't answered any questions. And you didn't have a lot of questions. Many listings had no questions at all, but I came across 2 where you did not answer them. That's a no-no. You got to answer the questions, because why would they buy from you if you can't even answer the question? What faith do you give them that you will actually ship out the item, or that the item that you're showing them or telling them that you're going to send them is actually the item that you're going to send them? I would have a big amount of distrust for a seller that did not answer my question, and it's happened, and I did not buy from them. So it's just something to, help yourself out there. That's something that you can easily do. That should, as a new seller, that should be unacceptable, because you can answer all the questions. It's not like you're getting a million questions. You have 50 listings up. This is a very manageable closet to deal with right now. So if you are asking for daily sale, and I'm not saying you are, I'm just saying in general, if someone is asking for daily sales, if someone is saying, I want to be a reseller, if somebody's saying, I want to make money at this, you need to treat it as a thing that deserves receiving money and sales. And if you can't answer your customers, you can't expect them to buy from you. So I think that is, I wanted to really make that point. Again, I hope you're not taking any of this personally. This is not directed at you personally. This is both to make a point for you so that you can do things that will improve, but also for those at home as an opportunity. And so everyone has to start somewhere. Don't feel bad about any of this. Everybody's journey is different. Everybody has to start somewhere. And I did all of these things, and I was not on YouTube when I started. So you're not seeing all the nonsense that was in my closet in the very beginning, where I put EUC in my title, which stands for excellent used condition. You shouldn't do that. And I did it so much. And I did stupid, silly things. And we all start somewhere. So I don't want you to get discouraged in any way. I want you to be happy and positive that now you have some actionable items that you can go forward with and easily start changing these things immediately. You can immediately share your closet. You can immediately start retaking your cover photos. You can immediately start adding measurements. All of these things are going to help these exact items sell. And then you can buy better items and buy more items and do more listings and do better listings, and that will exponentially increase your ability to make sales as well. So I'm optimistic for you. You have a 10% bundle discount, which is great. I do 20%. 10% is fine. You could always increase it to 20. I think bundling at this point is hard because you don't necessarily have enough things in the right sizes to make it bundleable for someone. Perhaps, you've got a size 9 shoe and a size 7.5 shoe. So maybe someone is a size large and a size 9, and they could bundle those together and that would work. But in general, you know, you don't have 3 or 4 things perhaps of the same size, of the same style that someone would want, you know, per se, when you only have 50 listings. That's not your fault. That's just a numbers thing. As you increase your inventory, you'll have more options for people to make bundles. But if you think of that in mind, you may want to add some accessories. You may want to add some makeup. You may want to add some jewelry. You may want to add more shoes or things like that, where people could potentially make bundles with things that are not size specific. So I do think that we talked about everything here. So, I mean, I do have kind of an overall little closing thing for you in your summary. Like I said, I think sharing is going to be critical for you. You need to develop a solid sharing strategy that gets your stuff out there to the people. Otherwise, the people cannot do the buying. You need to get your photos squared away with just some bright, clean, clear cover photos, even if you don't retake all the other ones. I do think that it's manageable to retake the ones you have, but if you choose not to and you just do it going forward, that's fine too. Use that nice wall where that yellow dress was with your mannequin. Hope you gave her a name. That always is fun. And hope you and your mannequin do some great photos right in front of that nice bright wall, and it will be nice and clean and clear, and that will really help. Then work on your titles and descriptions so you can make all of that nice and fact-based, so that it can be found in search, that it can help the buyer have all the information and the confidence that they need to make the purchase from you. So those are the big things that I have for you. I do think that you're off to a good start. You know, you have a few, like this Classiques Entier, I don't know how to exactly say it. This is a genuine leather suede skirt. This is, you could increase the price on this. Like, this is a couple $100 item. So you have some things that could do well for you. And I think you have some nice basics. New York & Company totally sells. I mean, it's probably not the most in-demand thing, but that's a very beautiful dress. And I'm sure someone would want that for summer. And if you just presented it and told them about it and then made sure that it could be found, it will sell. So I think that you have exclusively missed it. Like, you have some great things going for you. You just need to kind of buckle down, get a plan together for sharing, for photos, and for your listings, and you will do just fine as long as you can execute on that. So again, everything is written down in the summary that you get. It's multiple pages. You also have your cover sheet, which has all of the additional resources that I provide to you, with links to everything, additional videos that would be appropriate, discounts to things, places to source, all of that stuff. So I hope, Robin, that you get and take away some great tips from this video. I hope that those at home have also gotten some great tips from this video. I enjoyed doing it. I really do love coming up with ways to help you. And if you're interested, someone else, in getting a closet review, click down below and go ahead and purchase one. For Robin, I hope you'll come and see me and let me know, remind me to look at your closet in a couple of months and let me see all the changes that you've made. I think it would be really nice when you have someone that is committed to making the changes that I've suggested, that, you know, we connect back later. So let's do that. Thanks so much again for everyone that is watching. I have lots of other Poshmark closet reviews if you want to check out some more. They're linked down below. Like this video on the way out, subscribe to the channel so we can hang out again. Leave me a comment down below, and I will see you all next time. Bye, Robin. Bye, everyone.